Hello dear students, in this lecture we will discuss about velocity triangles, how to draw velocity triangles and the notations used. Okay, the main focus of this video is to make you understand the velocity triangles, how they are drawn. So for that initially we will just understand why the velocity triangles are used. Why velocity triangles are used to calculate work done per unit mass. Okay, with the help of velocity triangles usually we will be calculating work done per unit mass. Please remember this, per unit mass means it will be joules per kg. Okay, and we are assuming certain things like the flow is steady. Okay, and we will use velocity triangles in case of turbines as well as pumps. Okay, so turbines, I mean it will be power generating machines. Pumps, it will be power absorbing machines. So for power generating machines and power absorbing machines, for both we can draw velocity triangle but with little modification. Okay, so let's begin. We will consider a rotor or a rotating element with its axis O dash. Okay, we know that turbo machine is nothing but when a rotating element interacts with flowing fluid, there will be change in moment and pressure of the fluid, because the fluid will hit the rotor and it transfer its kinetic energy to the rotor in case of turbines. Okay, so when it transfer its kinetic energy to the rotor, it will lose its velocity, it will lose its kinetic energy, so definitely there will be change in its pressure and momentum. Okay, the other way with respect to pumps, we can define it in other way. In case of pump or fan, if you consider a fan, as the fan starts rotating, almost the stationary air in the room, it is pushed with high velocity towards we can say in all direction. So when the almost stationary air is pushed in all the direction, its momentum and its pressure will change slightly. Okay, that is for both power generating and power absorbing turbo machines. Okay, for understanding purpose, we will consider a rotating element with its axis O dash, you can see on the screen. Then we will assume that water is coming and striking it, water or any fluid is coming and striking it, and it is making the wheel to rotate. Okay, for that we will consider a 3D element because it is happening in space. Okay, now here we will consider the body diagonal to be V1, which is absolute velocity. So V1, 1 indicates the inlet, subscript 1 indicates the inlet. So you can see here V1 is the inlet velocity. So it is coming and it is made to hit the rotor. Okay, but actually it is not happening so just we will understand it later. Imagine that water is coming and striking the rotor. Okay, now as it is in the plane, the V1 is split in 3 mutually perpendicular directions. You can see we have 3 mutually perpendicular directions. So you can see here, so this is center, you can consider that as O. So this line will be x-axis, this can be taken as y, this can be taken as z. So these are 3 mutually perpendicular directions. Okay, when I split this V1, I'll be getting 3 velocity components. Okay, so please concentrate this word. It is velocity components. V1 is absolute velocity. From the absolute velocity we are going to get 3 velocity components in 3 mutually perpendicular directions. So what are they? You can see Vax1 in the x direction, which is axial velocity component, VRD1. So you can see Vx1 is this, VRD1 is this, V1 is this. So Vx1 is the axial velocity component, VRD1 is the radial velocity component, V1 is the tangential velocity component, or also it is known as whirl velocity component. Okay, so the different authors use different notations. So Vx1 is axial velocity component. Why it is axial velocity component? Because it is parallel to the axis of rotation. You can see this is parallel to the O dash. So it is axial velocity component. So VRD1, it is it is in the radial direction. You can see it is in the radial direction, so it is known as radial velocity component, and this is in the tangential direction. You can see this is in the tangential direction. So sorry, it is in the tangential velocity direction. So this is tangential velocity component. I hope this is clear. So we have radial velocity component, we have axial velocity component, and we have tangential velocity component. I hope this is clear. V1 is tangential velocity component. Okay. Now out of these three, all the three are not making the wheel to rotate. There is only one component which is making the wheel to rotate. If you take this axial velocity component Vx, it is not making the wheel to rotate because it is flowing like this. So this is not going to make the wheel to rotate. So this is not contributing towards work done. If you take VRD1, this, so if you consider VRD1, this is also VRD1 because both are parallel. So this is also not making the wheel to rotate. Okay, VRD1, it is also not making the wheel to rotate. Okay, now we have this VU1. Only VU1, either this, this can be also VU1. Okay, this can be also VU1. We are considering the parallel lines to be same, VU1. Okay, so VU1, if it is coming like this, okay, it is making here, it is not exact, but it is making at the here tangent up one point contact, which is tangential contact. So this makes the wheel to rotate. Okay, so I hope it is clear that Vx1 is not making the wheel to rotate, VRD1 is not making the wheel to rotate. Only VU1, the tangential or the whirl velocity component, is making the wheel to rotate. Okay, I hope this is clear with this picture. So the part of V1 is getting converted into V1, and V1 is further making the wheel to rotate. Okay, this is clear. Now if moving further, what we'll do, we'll consider this phase ABCD. ABCD means AB is nothing but V1 tangential velocity component, BC is Vx1 axial velocity component. So similarly, CD will be again V1, AD will be Vx1. Okay, next again we will consider this phase ABEF. I hope you can see this, ABEF. So if you see here, V1 is AB, BE is VRD1, again EF is VU1, AF is VRD1. So why we are considering this, I'll explain. Now here what we have done is, we have considered ABCD. So when I take ABCD, if you check in the previous slide, so what is ABCD? In this ABCD, this is a phase, so you have taken it there. So AB is V1, BC is Vx1. Please understand this. So now here AB is V1, BC is Vx1. This is what, again CD is, what is CD or DC? This is also V1. What is BC? This is also VAX1. Okay, now in the earlier figure we had drawn V1 as the body diagonal, but here we have taken it as face diagonal. We have taken it as AC. Now what is the difference? There we have taken a case of general velocity triangle, but here it is not the case of general velocity triangle. It is a case of it is a case of axial turbo machine. Okay, now how axial turbo machine, how we will identify that it is axial turbo machine? There will be one axial component and there will be one tangential component. Okay, this V1 is getting converted into Vx1 and Vu1. So if I consider the top phase, that is nothing but our axial flow turbine. Okay, So for understanding axial flow turbine, only the top face will be considered. Okay, so I am referring to the previous figure. So from that we have taken, so we have taken the ABCD face. V1 is the face diagonal that is getting converted, that is split in VX1 and VU1. So this is nothing but our axial flow turbine. In case of axial flow turbine, if you see carefully, which component is not there? VRD1 is not there. Okay, VRD1 is not there means VRD1 is 0. In case of axial flow turbines, there will not be any radial velocity component. Radial velocity component will be 0. Please understand this. Okay. Next, what we'll do? We'll consider next. So what we have taken now? We have taken ABEF, the side face. So if I go to the previous slide, sorry. So we have taken this face, ABEF. So in this phase we have AB to be VU1, BE to be VRD1. Okay, so we have taken this only there. We have just drawn it in the front view, I can say. So this will be easy. AB is VU1, okay, and BE is VRD1. Now again it is same, but here it is which type of turbine it is? Radial flow turbine or radial turbo machine. Okay, why it is radial turbine or radial turbo machine? Because V1 is now getting, so it is getting split in, it is split in two, which is VRD1 and VU1. VRD1 is radial velocity component, VU1 is tangential velocity component. Here if you see there, Vx1 is 0. So this is a radial flow turbine or radial turbo machine. In case of radial turbo machine, Vx1 will be 0. In case of radial turbo machine, Vx1 will be 0. Okay, this is why, in case of axial flow turbo machines, there is no radial component. In case of radial turbo machines, there will not be any axial component or axial velocity component. Okay, I hope this is clear with this picture. Okay, so we are considering top face as the axial turbo machine or explanation for axial turbo machine, and we are taking the side face to be for radial turbo machine. I hope this is clear. So and what we understood is V1 is getting converted into VU1, which is making the wheel to rotate, not Vx1, not VRD1. So where this Vx1 and where this VRD1 is going? It is going as waste. Okay, the force which is created by Vx1 is taken by the thrust bearings, and the force which is created by radial velocity component VRD1, that will be taken by radial bearings or the journal bearings. So this is the basic part which you must know. In the next lecture we will understand how the velocity triangles are drawn. Okay, I hope this is useful for you. Maybe if you have any queries, you can put it in the comment. Okay, thank you all.